All right, welcome back to episode 2 of Over the Line. We have a good show for you today. Chris is in a little bit of a funk after his Giants took another big L. This was a tough week for him. Actually, we'll start with you, Chris. What did you see from your Giants on Sunday? I know it probably wasn't much.
Oh and 16, huh?
That's all I got,
So,
baby.
is
Oh
that
and
the official
16.
mascot of the 2020 New York Giants?
I have a big change of heart from last week. I That was absolutely devastating. I felt really good after those first two losses. Like I felt like I saw positives in a really bad team, and I have absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you were loving everything
I
you were seeing from not only Danny Jones, but the way the Giants were
Yeah,
kind of
I
fighting in
thought
those first
I
couple
thought the
games.
defense looked really good for being really bad. Like they stuck in the games, and I've never. They didn't punt once. Nick Mullins blitzkrieg offense did not punt one time.
Nick Mullins.
Not one punt. I have
You guys
nothing on it.
made Nick
I
Mullins
was
look like the Pro
embarrassing.
Bowler.
It was the first time in probably the last 2 years that I was like, I honestly am going to turn this off. I was sick of
Wow.
it. It was embarrassing. I honestly was so sick of it.
You guys haven't had
Danny
a loss
Dimes
that
looked
bad in two
horrible.
years? I find that hard to believe.
You up?
I find it hard to believe you guys haven't had an equally embarrassing loss the past 2 years.
I don't know what it was about this week. It was so I think it was the injuries on 49ers
I was
giving me
gonna
just a
say,
slight amount
well,
of hope, and like it was horrible. Like
it was
nothing
probably
went
that,
right.
and it was probably no Barkley. So you're like, if you have Saquon, anything can happen. Like
Yeah.
he could go off, and you could win a
Yeah.
game you're not supposed
You
to win.
you have a player that's at least fun to watch.
But
Who
when you
can
have Devontae Freeman,
Dude, I have nothing on it. I really don't, other than like I take back a lot of. I don't want to take back what I said last week because I still feel like I did feel and see a lot of positives, but that was the worst display of football from that team I think I've ever seen.
well,
It was
here's the good news:
absolutely
is
horrible.
you got Rams, then
That's a
Cowboys
huge
back to
loss.
back weeks, so that's great news.
Yeah, that's
Rams
both massive
Cowboys.
losses. I mean, the Cowboys have no defense, but we have no offense, so there's no chance there because they're just going to probably put up 50 points.
Right.
Dak's throwing over 450 in every game. So it's
Right.
like, what's the Giants secondary going to do that?
Like
Absolutely.
how long can you continue to be bad? Because Dak's bad and still throw for 450 yards
Yeah.
a game. How long does that continue?
If he's playing in the NFC East, the rest of his career.
It's
So
a very NFC
yeah.
East qualities to throw for 400 yards, but also have like 3 picks every now and again.
Yeah, man.
So
Classic.
if you're thinking, the Giants are probably going to have a pretty abysmal season,
Yeah.
like you said,
I thought 5
0 and
wins, and
16 possibly.
I'm not
Um,
thinking 5 anymore.
So if they're at the very bottom of the pack, that leaves them with an interesting decision come draft time.
Yeah,
You're not too long into the Daniel Jones experience,
yeah,
but you've got Trevor looks like a woman Lawrence,
yeah.
and he's a good ball player despite what he looks like. So what does that say to you as a Giants fan?
That's part of one of the things that was the first time watching Danny Dimes yesterday. It's not. I don't think it's fair to assess him off of the three defenses he has played. He played Pittsburgh, Chicago, 49ers, and he has a, you know, I can't say it didn't cross my mind yesterday, kind of being like Jets, Giants look like they're going to go 1-2 in the draft. And at that point, I don't think if you're the Jets, how do you stay with Darnold, right? So like if it's the Jets, they go Lawrence, right? Like you don't.
Right.
What's Darnold done at this point where it's like, hey, we're not going to take
No,
one of the
I
best
think
prospects
You
we've
got
seen.
Mono. You got Mono.
that's true.
did.
Yeah, so,
So that's a
he fucks
positive.
at least.
Yeah, that's But as if the Giants are there, with Joe Judge being new coach, I can't say it's not on my mind now.
And it's probably on their minds as well.
I'm sure it is. But like I said, I do think, especially as we get into division play, Daniel Jones, I'll be interested to see how he does against, Washington, against Philly. Dallas's defense isn't very good either. So, like, it has been 3 really tough games. But
Right.
I have I was so ecstatic last week, and I got absolutely nothing, man. I really don't.
Well, here's the good news is that I remember you being super bummed out about them not drafting Haskins, and he blows too. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, it's
See-
funny you point that out because I had written down in my notes, Haskin looks sharp, and then in parentheses, first quarter, because I wrote that down early in the game. I ended up scratching that out, and I go, well, dead fucking wrong.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that is the athlete discussion we had last week. He would fit right into that, as Haskins is not a very good athlete.
Nope.
Like he
Right.
doesn't, you know what I mean? Like that's not going to work. You're seeing it everywhere in the league. That's just not where the league's going anymore. You have to be able to do more than sit in the pocket. And if you don't anymore, you're one of the older quarterbacks most likely. You know,
Yeah,
like those guys that have been in the league forever can get away with not being the most athletic just because they have the mental part of the game down. They read defenses so well. Their offense has been built around them for 10 years probably. Like you got Rodgers. I mean, Brady's on a new team, but they're still doing stuff that's going to work for him.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
But these younger guys coming in, if you're not athletic enough to move around and get out, it's just not
Especially if
working
the
anymore.
system isn't built around you being, a pocket passer like, Big Ben, for example. We have a system that fits his style.
Right.
Now, if we were to get one of the more mobile quarterbacks, we would have to change our system regardless of what, Pittsburgh thinks of themselves.
Yeah.
Josh Allen can run. Seems like Justin Herbert can run a little bit.
Josh Allen can really run.
Yeah, Josh Allen can really run. Like he probably ran a 4.5 at the
do a
combine.
whole
or
fast.
whatever. Like
Probably
Yeah,
did a
he
4.5.
ran
4.
Daniel Jones
Probably
as
did a
4.5.
Yeah, Jones. Was
Danny
4.5,
Jones ran a
so
4 flat.
Yeah, 4 flat.
sub
Actually-
4.
I did watch him scramble a couple times Sunday, and
He can
he
move.
looked deceptively athletic.
He
White.
can move.
Yeah.
Another word for
Yeah.
white.
Yeah, he actually, the best part of his game is his mobility.
Danny
Because I
Jones
don't
or Josh
see
Allen?
many other. He does have a strong arm, but how far does that take you? I mean, Jamarcus Russell had a strong arm.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like this hurts to even say right now. But after watching, I think the Bills are a very good team this year. Like I
I agree.
genuinely do think, and good for them that their division is even down more now without Brady. But I feel like after watching yesterday and like the last couple of weeks, and even like last year, even like watching Josh Allen progress, I'm like Daniel Jones is kind of a poor man's Josh Allen. Like that's kind of what he feels like to me. Like, I'm like that
that's
pains
not
me, but
great.
That's
it's
gotta
just
hurt.
like he's got that arm. He's big like him. He can move, but Josh Allen's doing more with it. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to say he's not right now, but
I mean, Josh
It-
Allen, if he wasn't who he is, he would be in the MVP conversation strictly off the numbers. If you took his name away and you just put stats and you put him up the other quarterbacks so far through 3 weeks, you're going to say he's in the top 3 right now in MVP discussion.
Yeah, if you kept his name and he didn't run like Forrest Gump, then he would be in the MVP discussion.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, he does. He runs like something's wrong. He's not like he's trying to score a touchdown. Like he's running from something.
He's always running away from somebody, basically.
Yeah, he's running away from those racist tweets that got surfaced before the
Oh,
draft.
yeah, that's
All
right.
God, dude, I forgot about that.
So would you rather have Josh racist tweet Allen and actually be winning football games, or would you rather have Danny no racist tweet Jones and
Well-
then like win 4 games a year?
That we know of. I'm not convinced that.
Well, he's
Daniel
a Duke guy
Duke
too, so
Jones.
who knows
Yeah,
what
that's
they're
what I'm
doing
saying.
like in the shed,
Right.
on the lacrosse field.
I heard that he was friends with the lacrosse team.
Yeah, the lacrosse team from 2007. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was friends with those guys. Yeah,
He's reunion.
reunion.
Meet up with some of the guys.
hmm
Beautiful.
So unfortunately, the Steelers game was blocked out from me, so I had to
Oh,
just
really?
watch the shitty Browns. But yeah, how did they look? I saw that they had to come back and win in the second half,
I
but
actually didn't catch any of that game either.
Well, I'll be happy to fill you in on how they looked. Worst 3-0 start I've ever seen from any team.
Hey,
I'm not
wins or
impressed.
wins.
I'm not impressed. Obviously, you guys know how I feel about Deontay Johnson. I'm not even going to get too far into that. But when he was in the game, They targeted him 4 times right off the bat, didn't throw to Claypool at all, overthrew Johnson when he was double covered twice. And I'm starting to think to myself, who on the coaching staff daughter is he fucking that he's getting all these play calls?
Right.
Like, I get that he is a playmaker, and I have written down right here, Deontay Johnson is a playmaker. He's not a wide receiver. Okay, so stop running him in these classic routes when you have Chase Claypool, who's 6'4", 6'5", built like a real man, and can actually put his hands on the ball, keep his his feet inside the line. I like the way Claypool plays. I like the way Johnson runs with the ball when he's holding on to it, but you just can't count on him to hold on to the thing. So I think him going out was the best thing that happened to us. We bounced back in that game. Ben was starting to find a rhythm, find his other targets, get more people involved, and then that's when our offense kind of got rolling. But Houston was just terrible in the second half. It was more about how poorly they played in the second half than us making good adjustments. They just couldn't move the ball whatsoever. Our defense played relatively well, but it wasn't like we had 10 sacks and we were in the backfield every play. Watson was doing what he does. He was escaping the rush, getting outside the pocket, and having looks down the field, but he just wasn't getting anything. Our secondary still looks terrible. They were getting cooked. I can't even name a receiver for Houston, and they were literally frying our secondary in the first half. So that's something we have to continue to work on. I don't understand how they put so much emphasis on our defense. But, you have to be able to cover the pass, too. I understand that we're the type of team who wants to shut down the run and force you to throw the ball. But if we're forcing teams to throw the ball and we can't stop it, they're going to score points on us. And I don't trust our offense to put up 30 points a game.
It's the classic Madden, I'm going to run engage 8 until you throw it and then get burned deep.
Yeah, well, basically that is what we're doing. We're putting 8, 9 guys in the box and then just saying, beat us. And they're like, all right, yeah, that's fine, yeah. So I really wasn't impressed. And what made me even less impressed was what the Buccaneers were doing to the Broncos, exactly what we should have done to them. That just shows me we're not as good as we think we are, as our record shows. We are a good team. I think that we can make a push once we start to fix some of these things, but we're nowhere near perfect right now or even firing on all cylinders. I think that we have a lot of room to improve.
I was saying it last week about the Texans too. Is like their start to the year, they played. They probably had the hardest start of the year, anyways.
Oh,
with
definitely.
Ravens, Chiefs, and Pittsburgh even. But they didn't look good in those first 2 weeks, anyways. And then, like you were saying, it was a close game against the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers win, so that's good. But on paper at the beginning of the year, you're probably looking at that week 3, and you're like, that's a pretty big game. Houston, Pittsburgh.
Oh, right.
You put it in context a little bit, and then you see the Chiefs and Ravens having absolutely no problem with them, and then Steelers struggling a little bit. So you're still – I can see where you wouldn't be like, this is great news, because they still didn't blow out the Giants. They didn't blow out the Broncos. No. They're winning.
They're just not winning in an impressive fashion.
Yeah, that makes sense, though.
I can see them being a playoff team at the rate that they're playing now, but I don't see them beating Baltimore. I don't see them beating Kansas City. So, if they don't clean up some of the things in their secondary and then really get the offense going, they don't have a chance to make it deep in the playoffs.
You think Ben stays healthy the whole year? I think that's got to be biggest thing too, right? After seeing last year's, if Ben's...
Oh, yeah, if Ben's out, that team's nothing.
There's no way,
that team
right?
is nothing.
Oh, no, we're
no
terrible.
matter how good their defense is. Their defense is really good. But when you don't have a quarterback now, you're done.
We had a great defense last year, and it just goes to show that we weren't good whatsoever.
Right.
And it was because we didn't have Ben. I mean, he facilitates our offense, and he runs things for us. But not only that, he's a leader.
Right.
On and off the field, at the clubs.
But here's the thing. The Steelers are way more likely to go 11-5 playing ugly football games than to go 5-11 playing ugly football games. And it's just how they always play. Yeah. The primetime games, they usually pick it up and they play better. And then when they're playing the 1 o'clock, fucking playing the Bengals, that's where they squeak one out by 7 points or whatever. That's just their MO. That's what they've always done. They play down to their opponent. They play up to their opponent. So
It's
I
good
don't
though.
know. Pump the brakes. Like they're gonna be who they always are. This is what they always do. I feel like, or they'll look really good early on, and then they'll have a couple hiccups. But like this is what they always do. Or they'll get in as a wild card and they'll make a run. Like that's their MO.
Yeah, there's always those teams that at the end of the year, I think last year the Chargers were the opposite of them. They were losing game, like pretty much every game they were losing was within like one score.
Yeah, Philip Rivers perpetually down by
Yeah.
4 with 2 minutes left.
Exactly, right.
His whole life.
Forever.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're on the other end of that, you're winning those games by one score. It doesn't, it's not going to be pretty. You're not going to be like, this is the best team I've seen all year, but they're going to probably be they're going to probably be an 11-5 playoff team or 10-6. And like, they're going to get in there and then their playoff game's not going to be bad. Like it's probably going to be a good playoff game. They're not, but nothing you're seeing is going to be like, this is the offense. This is the best.
No one's going to say this is the team because first of all, there's 2 other teams in the AFC that are probably the 2 best teams in the NFL
in football, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're playing tonight.
Yeah, you are damn right. We'll get into our predictions for that game here in a moment, but any AFC team right now is looking like, well, we have to get through one of those 2 teams for anything to come to fruition, and nobody's looking at Pittsburgh like, oh, we have to get through them. That's just not how people are looking at us right now. We're 3-0, but then again, the Bears were 2-0 coming into the week. Like they're fucking terrible, and then they squeak it out.
As a Browns fan, I'm looking at the Steelers and going, we got to get through the Steelers.
But
like we have to at least split with them.
Get through to go where?
To go above 500.
Okay.
To get that 16th pick in the draft, baby.
Yeah. To go 8-8.
To go 8-8.
Yeah, the most lackluster. But I mean, that's improvement. You'd like to finish with a winning record, but
8-8 in that division is nothing to be too terribly upset about. I don't think because you're playing 4 games against the Steelers and the Ravens. So if you're coming out of that 8-8, that means you're only losing to the NFC East. So, yeah.
Right, but on the inverse, if you're Baltimore or you're Pittsburgh and you only go 8-8, you fucked up.
Miserable. Yeah. Oh, you're pissed.
Up. Yeah, but if you're the Browns, why don't you just go and make the playoffs?
Yeah,
that's gonna be tough for them to pull off.
Wild card, baby.
But like Chris mentioned before we started the show, they have the 4th easiest remaining schedule.
Yeah.
So why don't we get 3 AFC North teams in there this year? Why don't we just go ahead and sneak 3 of them bad boys in there?
That's going to be incredibly difficult, but I think it is possible.
But the AFC is so top heavy. Like you got Ravens, Kansas City. Who's the next best team? Who's the next best team? Tampa Bay, maybe?
Who's the third?
No, they're in
best
the
team
NFC.
In the AFC? That's a good question.
They're in the NFC South. Who's the next best team in the AFC?
Who's the third best team in the AFC?
I mean, it's probably got to be like the Bills right now, maybe.
I think you're probably right.
Or the Steelers.
Well, yeah. If we're taking, I thought we were taking
Titans, maybe.
No.
I don't think
I'm not convinced with the Titans this year.
I'm not that convinced either because their passing game is so marginal. They have to run it almost as many times as the Browns to be good.
Right.
Patriots look good again, man. Like that's what I mean. They even still look good. But their defense is still the same defense, and then Cam looks good right now. Looks great. They obliterated the Raiders.
But who can he throw the ball to?
He'll run it himself. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's doing it already. Like I don't know. I thought the same thing. I was like, why would Cam Newton go in there? I mean, it was Tom Brady, so of course he was making plays and winning with that team.
50-year-old Edelman will make a play. Disgusting. Yeah. One last point about the Steelers. Actually, 2 of them. And I got to go pick on Deontay Johnson just one more time. This guy fair caught the ball on the 4-yard line. They teach you that when you're 10 years old. He just is not cerebral enough when he's on the field. He's talented, but what the fuck are you thinking? And then, you know what we do after we get the ball to start on the 4-yard line? We go three in a row and we punt from the 4 because we're fucked because we don't know how to fucking get out of that position. And it all starts from just a bonehead play. It's a simple It's a simple thing. You just let the ball go, and whatever you live with the consequences. If somehow they make a great play and stop the ball in the one, they earn that. But you can't give them that field positioning for free. And then my second thing is, I don't know if you guys knew this, but James Conner actually beat cancer, and I think that's what's made him super strong and why he's our bell cow.
Wow.
Yeah, he beat cancer. You never heard that?
I wasn't aware of that. I actually never heard that before from
news
any
to me.
commentators ever.
Yeah, when he was at Penn State. Yeah,
Pitt.
cancer. No,
What's-
Penn State. With Jared.
Pitt.
Do you think Joe Pa
in the
helped
locker
him?
rooms.
Pitt, guys. Pitt.
No. He was
No.
at Penn State.
Yeah,
He was at
Penn State.
with
He's
Joe
hanging
Pa.
out. This is a weekend trip, Chris. We're not talking about football. He just likes to visit.
You're
All
feeling
right,
pretty
AJ,
confident.
you guys had your heat check this week against the Washington R words. You guys did pull out the win. What did you see from the Browns?
What I saw was whoever was doing the game, I don't know who it was, definitely called them the Redskins on multiple occasions.
I
That's
know.
what I saw.
Yep, I saw that a
I
lot.
had to apologize after every time.
Yeah. Pardon
What
me,
I saw
football
from
team.
the Browns is they took the ball away 5 times from like just a terrible offense. And if they can run the ball 40 times a game, which I don't know if that's sustainable, then they'll win a lot of games because they might have the 2 best running backs in the NFL.
But is it not a red flag to you that they had all those turnovers and they still only win the game by, what, 4?
No, they won by 14. 34-20.
34-20. I thought you said 30.
But it's funny because I was at Luke's watching it, and I turned to him and I said, how are they not up by more? It was like 19-14, I think, at one point. And I was like, how? Washington had 3 turnovers. I'm like, how have you not turned this into more points? Now, Cody Parkey made every field goal, which is a good sign, which is embarrassing that I have to say that. But he made every extra point in every field goal. But he played for the Bears a long time ago and missed a very clutch field goal and kind of thought it was going to end his career. So,
Was that the double dink?
Yep.
yeah. Yep.
Yikes.
Against
So-
against the Eagles that let them go on to
Yikes.
What I'm most impressed about is Sheldon Richardson actually looked like a football player.
Oh,
he
he played
looked like-
great.
He looked like an actual football player, which last year he didn't even one time. And
He has a lot of
that's going to
potential.
help Ogunjobi and what's that guy who like takes off helmets and
I
like
don't know.
smashes people with
Never
them.
heard of him.
Yeah, that's going to help those guys so much because
The anime guy.
the anime guy, that's right.
Yeah.
But I still think their defense is fake, and I still am very sketchy on Baker, although he looked pretty good. But when you only throw it 25 times, you should look good.
Well, they shouldn't have to throw the ball more than that.
No, I agree with that.
They should do what they did, which is stick to the run game. Like feed your big back. Like Chubb is
Dude, Chubb
a Pro
is just
Bowler.
an animal.
He can't be stopped.
No, and he made some cuts too, where he juked the guy out of his shoes, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you had that. I didn't know
Yeah,
you could
he
do
has
that."
the elusiveness.
Right, he does, but he's huge. And then he gets out in the open field, and he'll outrun you.
Oh, he's so fast.
He's tied for first in the league with touchdowns from a running back, I think, with 4, and he's 4th in yards. And I'm just like, and our offensive line is unbelievable. Like if Baker takes a sack ever, it's always on him. It's never on the offensive. It's
He
him
did
holding
have
it too
all
long.
day.
Yeah, he did take some stupid sacks though. But I don't know. Can't really tell anything playing against a high school football team. Although the
That's a heat
lifelong
check, bro.
question of would the Browns beat Ohio State? They would. They would beat Ohio State.
They would.
Well,
beat
finally.
Beat a bunch of Buckeyes.
They finally have
they
the
would.
team to do it.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck it, let's schedule the game this year.
Yep. Browns, Buckeyes, baby. I would watch that game.
I thought that
December
it was
19th.
a really
There you go.
boring
Michigan.
first quarter.
Yeah, the first quarter was kind of a
So
buzzkill, and I'm
boring.
looking at my fantasy team and I'm going, wow, I have 5 Browns. I'm fucked. But then they
Yeah.
put up 34 points, and I was like, okay,
Yeah,
this will work.
they ended up bringing it around, but it was a really slow start, obviously, for both teams. But I just wasn't impressed with what I saw besides, as I said earlier, from Haskins through one. Thought he was looking clean. I was going to come in here today and say how all these teams missed on Haskins, and good thing I watched the rest of the game.
One thing I was impressed with the Browns was that was the hardest I've seen them hit in a while. Like their defense was hitting.
Yeah.
So I like that.
They look like
They're
they're
playing more
actually
aggressive.
making more effort. Basically.
Yeah, McLaurin got
Like-
lit up a few times, and I was
Maybe
like,
Yeah.
trying to win.
yeah. He's
They're like, hey,
actually
we might
trying to-
actually be able to win some games.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't much, but it's honest work.
Every Browns player on his way to work. Ain't much, but it's humbling.
I feel like you should kind of get paid in the NFL or any sport for that matter based on your salary. So if you, I'm sorry, based on your
That
Yes, you
makes
should
sense.
get paid
Yeah,
based
makes
on your
sense.
salary. I
based
agree.
on your record. So like if you're on the shittiest team in the NFL, you should probably make as much as like somebody who's bags groceries. You know?
You should
Yeah.
you should
A-
get like
a
a CFL
solid-
contract.
$9.50 an hour.
Yeah. But yeah, you should make $9.50 an hour and maybe like partial benefits.
I agree with that.
You're
I
playing
think
a child's game.
the
essentially.
Giants O line should be making $50K a year. Then that's above the national median. They should be below the national median
Yeah, I agree. I
In
agree with
salary.
that 100%.
because it is an absolute waste.
There's no
of-
way they should be
everybody's
making
money.
more.
Now,
And
when
it's
you're
not-
the Patriots, or
And it's
when you're
not even
LeBron-
our money. It's just the owner's money. So it's like, you can stick
Oh,
that
right.
to
Do
the
what you
billionaire
want. Cut
owner.
that pay.
But I'm telling the billionaire owner right now, save your money.
I'm telling
me
you,
on
when
that line,
you make the
you're gonna have the
finals
same-
10 out of 11 years, you go ahead and be worth $1 billion. That's
Yeah.
fine by me.
That's fair. One thing I did notice when I was watching the Browns is that Baker's timing on his deep balls seems off. Like, he can't seem to hit his receivers in stride on the deep ball. They're always either stopping their routes completely. I don't know whether he's throwing like a back shoulder fade. He's like, they're running a go route. They have their corner beat by 5 yards, and then he throws it 5 yards short, so they come back to the corner and have to catch it on his shoulder pads.
Right.
And every time that happens, Baker seems to like have this reaction is almost where he's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Why is it never like, you know what, that's on me. I never see him do one of these. How come I never see him do one of these after he
Well, I
throws
think
those
the
passes?
main answer I have for that is it's time for the Case Keenum era in Cleveland.
Bring in the
What
kid.
would it take for him to play?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
It would take a lot. It would take.
I'm
think
thinking
so,
so
too.
too.
He
I think
wouldn't,
so too.
especially since they're above 500 for the first time in 7 years. Like it would take a lot.
Yeah, because Baker's feeling dangerous again.
Oh man. Oh, I'm. Yeah.
Those
feeling-
words
He's
will
feeling
forever
he's
haunt
feeling
him.
dangerous against those Bengals and that football team.
Yeah.
and that
He's
football
passed
team.
both those heat checks.
That
He's
football
like,
team.
bro, I'm feeling dangerous. I mean, OBJ's the only reason he didn't have an interception.
Yeah, he
That's
made a
the
couple.
story of
outstanding
Eli's
plays,
final
really.
5 years of his career. So
That's-
welcome
that's
to
good.
that, Baker.
Yeah, receivers
fair.
turn cornerbacks.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And then he gave up one of these. He gave a
Yeah,
miss.
yeah. OBJ said, no.
Yeah,
I'm
he
playing
said
defense.
no.
Mutombo.
So put him in at cornerback. Have him light somebody up. What do
OBJ
we do?
actually was like hype over that play. He was like, yeah, I made that play. Baker, you
Yeah.
fucking blow, but I got you.
Right,
And that was not the only time he missed. That's what kind of made me bring this point up. is
right.
He was underthrowing, and then he was overthrowing, and then it was like his stop and he pump fake, and he was like, no, and then check it down, which I think is the right move for him. If he doesn't have it on his deep ball, why are you trying to force it? Check it down to Chubb and let him give you a screen for 15 yards. Move the chains.
He's looked more uncertain the last 2 years than he did his rookie year,
100%.
which makes no sense to me. He pumps more now.
Yep.
He holds the ball longer. I don't know. Maybe defenses are just like, wow, this is a one read guy, and then once he makes that read, he's going to bail out, and that's easy to defend in the NFL.
True.
I don't know.
But like you
He's-
said, he has all the time back there to go through his whole progression.
It might be helpful if he wasn't 5'7".
That's something we touched on last week is get his ass out of the pocket, which I don't know if maybe I was just missing those plays, but it didn't seem like you guys ran a bunch of bootlegs this week.
No, we did one time, and he threw it underhand. They call it for grounding,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
But honestly, like you said, I like a rollout, but when you have a spotless pocket every time you drop back,
Yeah.
you can play action and just throw it from the pocket. That should be no problem. That should be easier than rolling out. It should be easier setting your feet.
Well, yeah, if you can see over the line.
That's true.
Yeah. Like, what I'm thinking is it doesn't always have to be a play action rollout, but maybe you start in the shotgun and you just sprint right. And then
Yeah,
that's,
right.
I mean, they do that in
No, you're
college all
right.
the time.
You're right, but that's why we hire the most uncreative coaches in the history of football.
Yeah, that's a blue collar town though. You need blue collar coaches.
Who? I got a question for you guys. Who's first to go this year at this rate? Gase or Dan Quinn?
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn probably should have been gone.
Dan Quinn has had the more embarrassing shows out on the field, like bad.
I
think about how talented Atlanta is.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think Quinn might last longer because I think his team has a better chance of bailing him out of something. Like I think that he might, I think Gase is fucked, and I think he's fucked no matter what. Like I don't think there's anything that team can do to help him. I think Quinn, if Atlanta actually stops doing what they're doing,
right,
he might save himself.
Yeah, I don't know that they will stop that, but
I don't know. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying they have between the two of those teams, they have a better chance.
I agree with that.
Is having less talent really a contributing factor into whether they should keep him as a coach? Because to me, you look at Dan Quinn, he has, like we said, he's got much more talent on their roster, and he continuously blows these games. That's more of an indictment on him than it is the players. The Jets don't have anyone.
But if Atlanta bails him out, like you said, if Atlanta somehow pulls off 7 or 8 wins, he'll keep his job.
Yeah, I was going to say, because at that point, then if he pulls off like a run of games here where they're actually closing these games out, then it's going to kind of reciprocate back on him too,
But you're right. It shouldn't be an excuse.
It shouldn't be. But
I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I just think it's an interesting.
If they do win, though, that's what I'm saying. If they keep losing like that, hell no. With that time,
I think this is just me going out on a limb. I think that the general manager will be able to see past that and go, look, we know what the issue here is in Atlanta. It's the fact that you cannot coach them to win a game. Like, I don't think Matt Ryan's a bad quarterback, but now he's going to have this, like, choking legacy. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this because, we were all watching the Bengals and Eagles game yesterday, and it went into overtime.
Yeah, we were all watching that.
And the whole country was watching.
Railing overtime.
All eyes on two of the top teams, Bengals and the Eagles, and they go to overtime. Both teams looked, I don't want to say desperate because they weren't playing desperate. They look like they're desperate for talent and playmakers. Neither one of them could make a play to win the game in overtime, and the game ends in a draw. First, we'll talk about the game itself. Chris, what did you see from those two teams?
I saw a very typical Philadelphia performance. That doesn't surprise me at all. I think that team is always NFC East is an absolute train wreck. So there's that doesn't surprise me at all. Bengals hanging around with them on the other hand is promising for them. Like if I'm a Bengals fan this year, I'm actually kind of looking at this and before the year people were like, give Burrow some pieces and this team's going to be almost ready. And I'm like, you're out of your freaking mind. But they actually have looked pretty decent on offense and like they're not running the ball very well. I think Mixon's not moving it well, but Burrow looks good and that
their offensive
defense
line
looks horrible.
Fucking bad.
Their offensive line is horrible.
They're getting him murdered.
Yeah, there's a couple times where Burrow just got absolutely demolished. But I think if you're a Bengals fan, you enjoy it. I think if you're an Eagles fan, you are absolutely livid.
You think your Bengals fans are happy with a tie?
If they're not, then they're delusional fans. Honestly, that's what I would say. You have a rookie quarterback. You're tying an Eagles team that was half a game from winning the division last year. Didn't change much. The Eagles' offense is in trouble anyways. They don't have very good playmakers. They've got Wentz really struggling.
He looks lost.
I don't know about you guys though. It's like when people talk about Wentz, they're acting like it's almost like the Baker effect to me. It's like he had an incredible MVP season before he got hurt. Or MVP caliber, I mean, because obviously, he goes down and
it was a good season.
Brady wins it. Yeah. But if he stays healthy through that season, he's a shoo-in for it. I mean, he was blowing everybody out of the water with the numbers that year. But since then, it's not like, and he didn't even, the playoff run was Foles.
Yeah.
Both times.
Yeah,
so,
it was.
like, I don't know.
Big Dick Nick won it for him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they win that Super Bowl with Wentz.
I wonder if
Yeah.
it's the injury. I wonder if it's the injury for Wentz. I'm sure that's a lot of it.
He's had so many too. Like he's always been injury prone.
Yep.
I don't know. He looks lost. He doesn't look like he's on the same page.
He
as
doesn't
any of
look
his
like
wide
the guy from
receivers.
that season. That's for sure.
No.
But I think
But
his
he had
nose
better
is blocking his
receivers.
vision.
He had better receivers then, though.
He did.
He had Deshaun Jackson. He had Nelson
Alshon.
Aguilar when he was actually good. He had Alshon Jeffrey when he was actually good. And then he had a couple good backs too, right? Like he had
They had
was Jay Ajayi there yet?
no.
Darren Sproles. Did they have Darren?
Maybe Darren
Yeah,
Sproles. He always helps a quarterback because that's
Yeah.
that's an automatic
He
bailout.
bails you out. That's for sure.
He's your dump. He's your dump off bailout for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bengals fans should be happy. If they're not, I think they're a little delusional because
I think that
that's
Joe
a
Burrow will either win the
horrible
MVP
team.
in 5 years or less, or he'll be out of the league if they can't find a way to protect him because he gets
injury wise.
annihilated
Yeah, so
every
you'll
game.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
See ya. Okay, so
Extremely
he left.
talented, but just wasn't gonna take the abuse, and so he was like, "Fuck it, I'll walk away."
but Luck
Yeah.
was kind of
A pussy. Yeah, I agree.
he's a little thicker than Burrow. Burrow seemed like
Yeah, that is true though. Luck was definitely built
he was
a lot.
built for Luck.
Or I mean, yeah, Luck was built a lot heavier than Burrow.
Yeah, somehow still just soft as Sherman. So that game didn't finish the way I don't think any of us would have liked to have seen it finish. Now, the NFL regular season rule where they only have one overtime, no
Yeah.
winner, they go straight to the draw. What do you guys think about that? Do you think they should implement any changes, or do you like the way it is?
Why don't they do like the MLB and just put a runner on second and call it a day?
It's true. Speed the game up.
Well,
Yeah.
just play baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
a good
saying
point.
once overtime hits, you all go play on
Both
the
teams
old
play
Raiders
baseball.
field.
Yep.
Go play on the old Raiders
Yep.
field. They
Fly out
you
to
out there.
Oakland into the Coliseum.
And you play one
Play
inning,
9 innings.
runner on second.
Yep.
Okay.
So you know who's winning the Super Bowl if that happens?
Seahawks.
The Seahawks, because Russell.
Knew it.
Yeah, you're on the same page.
Yeah.
Russell, because he was a
What about Kyler
Yeah, I was gonna say Seahawks,
Yeah, he's a virgin, though.
Cardinals
or Lions?
with Stafford, the ball
Stafford.
player.
Stafford.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
he
but
was
his
Clayton
arm is,
Kershaw's
like, deflated.
catcher.
But he did look good this week. But I
He did
would
look
like,
good. They look good
Yeah.
against the
Yeah, they look-
Cardinals.
they
Are
look
the
better.
Cardinals good? Are they good?
AJ, we were talking about this last night.
I feel like they
Well,
are. Their offense, they have so many
Even when
weapons.
Kyler's bad, he's still kind of good.
Yeah,
And that
Like-
pisses me off, dude.
Yeah,
I
it
hate to
pisses
say
me
that,
off,
but
too.
that pisses
that kind
me
of
off.
pisses me off too.
Yeah.
Like I
let's
don't
all
want.
be
So
really
here's
pissed about
here's
that.
well, here's my answer to that question, AJ. They're good, but it really pisses me off that they are kind of good.
But are they
Yeah,
good?
fuck the
I don't know,
Cardinals.
but it pisses me off that I even like debate that because
Yeah,
I
they shouldn't even be in conversation of being good.
And you could literally put the NFC All-Star team on the Arizona Cardinals, and then you would still be like, "Are they good?" Because it's
Yeah, and the
Arizona.
answer is no.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, Kyler Murray, isn't he still a rookie? Like, even though he's not,
Yeah.
you are, though. You know?
Yeah, and he's a rookie in the MLB, actually in the minor leagues somewhere.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah. I just feel like I'm always going to be like, oh, isn't it his rookie year? Like, I think every time I see his name, I'm like, oh, he's having a good rookie year. And I've been thinking that for the past 2 years. I'm like, it's not bad for a rookie.
real quick. We should cut in. We're about to hit game time. What do you guys think for tonight? Because it's about to start. We got about 10 minutes.
Good question.
I'll give you my answer.
Yeah, let's
Yep.
hear it.
I got Ravens 36, Kansas City 30, Browns 70.
Wow. Wow, the Browns sneak
That's
in tonight
huge.
with a
They sneak in with
onslaught.
a 40 with an onslaught. Yep.
Well, no one's playing defense against them, so.
Yeah, they just get to go up and down the field, and they still only score so many points.
They
Okay, so you're
they
taking
come.
Ravens
You know what the
tonight.
Browns are tonight? They're that Pop Warner halftime 2-minute game
Yes.
half field.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's absolutely
They're
correct.
gonna put up 70 in the Pop Warner halftime game.
Sometimes they look like that on Sunday.
That's right. No, but 36-30 is probably about right. Ravens.
Okay, you're taking Ravens, Chris. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Ravens, but I think bigger than that. I think it'll be 31-20.
Okay.
I think Ravens
well,
defense shuts
no.
him down.
I'm going Chiefs. I'm gonna say Chiefs. I was gonna really just meme, but I'm gonna take it seriously. I was gonna say they both scored like 6 points, and it was fucking like 6-7 Chiefs.
Bucker versus Tucker.
Yeah,
Bucker versus Tucker.
I'm saying the Chiefs probably put up at least 35. I'm going 35-28 Chiefs.
Man, that's pretty similar to what it was, 2 years ago? It was 33-28 last time they played. So
I just
can
think
see
that
it.
Mahomes looked okay last week, nothing special. I think this week he's like gonna try to really tear it up. He's usually good in primetime games too.
Yeah. Dude,
So is
interesting.
Lamar, and that kills me to say
Lamar's great.
Yeah.
Lamar's great.
Both these teams haven't lost. I think Chiefs are 4-1 in their last 5 Monday night games, and I want to say Ravens are 6-2
Yeah,
the
that's
last
annoying.
8. Yeah.
in the last 8. I think
I mean,
that Ravens defense
fuck both
is good
these
enough
teams.
though. I think
Yeah,
that
kind of
they're
fuck both those teams. And also,
Definitely.
all I care about, Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill, and Harrison Bucker, please all have about 30 fantasy points tonight.
minus Lamar because I need
No, 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 no,
yeah.
no.
He can do good for you. I need him to put up like a solid. Can 25 do for you?
Yeah, I think if he puts up 25 by himself, I'll win. But I want
Okay,
to win
I need-
in dominating fashion.
Okay, 25 to 30 I'll give you, but if he goes off for more than 30, I'm gonna lose my other.
I mean, I'd
so.
be okay with that too.
Okay, well I'm down by
I'm sure you
50 points, and all I have left is Mahomes. So
He did it
Mahomes
once
was
last
50.
year.
Never say never.
Mahomes with 50.
But you have like that. That's an above 0% chance of happening. So.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, it's about .001. So real quick, I want to go back to the overtime thing, Chris. What do you think about that? The NFL regular season overtime.
I think it's kind of. I haven't used this word in a while. I think it's bogus. Honestly, I think it's a stupid way. It doesn't feel like
I think it's
like
whack.
football is such a. What's the way I'm trying to describe it? It's such a two-sided game. I mean, you don't have the same obviously you don't have the same people playing offense and defense like you do in almost every other sport. So
Right.
having that opportunity possibly not having that opportunity sometimes to have a team even get a chance to have the ball, that it doesn't make sense in a sport that to me is built around, both. You have to have both sides of the ball. So
Right.
I
That's a
hate
good
it.
point.
I think it's stupid
No,
to me.
it's
I
stupid.
don't think it makes sense. I think college, I don't know if that's necessarily the absolute answer for the NFL for me, but I like that better at least, where you're putting the ball in both teams' hands because both defenses have to go out there, both offenses have to go out there. So obviously this week we had a tie, so it doesn't matter anyways. Like no one could fucking score. That it was, let's just see who can go between 40 and 40 for 15 minutes. So
Right.
but that can't be the solution, right? Like it can't be 10 minutes of 4 punts, game's over. Like
I think that's
what's
why
the point
they
at that point?
don't do that in the regular season. They don't have a second overtime because they're like, you guys clearly didn't want to win this game. Yeah, you guys both had 4 opportunities to win the game.
Dude, what are the Eagles doing with 15 seconds left in overtime? You're the Bengals still have to get 20 yards in 15 seconds to kick a field goal, and you're
That's
just
possible.
punting the ball back to their 10. Like that just you didn't want to win that game, and I don't care. You think probably someone up top is like analytics. We tie this game, we have a better chance down the road, keep making the playoffs rather than fluke loss. But take that chance.
Yeah.
Because of the format that's there. Like if you're gonna punt the ball with 10 seconds left in overtime, just tuck it. Like at least try. And then hope that and if you don't have enough faith in your defense to stop 25 yards in 15 seconds against the Bengals, I think that's horrible. I think that's a joke.
See, I think
Maybe
the
that.
opposite.
Go ahead.
I think of the opposite of what you guys are saying. I think you should play double, triple, quadruple, 5 overtimes, and then every time, if you're tied after the first overtime, each team should be required to strip a layer of padding off until
Oh,
you're
like
just
where this is
okay,
hitting
sorry.
each
I
other.
thought this was
Until
getting-
it's
you're
just
just
full on
hitting each
rugby.
other.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that actually.
And I think
I like
you
that a
start
lot.
with helmets. You take helmets off first.
I like that.
I like
That
that.
way,
like that.
you could just smoke somebody.
with
You'll
that.
want it. You'll want it to get over with. Then,
Yeah,
if
you're
playing,
gonna want it to get over with, and you will get it
Yeah.
over with.
My selection is kind of along that lines as well. I was thinking they just do a kickoff. Like you each go for like a 60-yard field goal. Each person gets a chance to match it, and you just go longer and longer until your kicker can't make it, and the other team wins.
Where do you start from? I like that. I like
Start
that
from like
idea.
the
The
fucking
50.
55.
yeah. The
Oh, like you're
50,
starting
55,
deep.
Yep. You're starting
Yeah.
deep.
Oh yeah.
See,
No, it's
I
Oh, it
think
doesn't.
like
It's
a
like a
bang.
shootout. It's
I
like
think
a
it'd be
shootout
kind of
in
fun.
hockey.
I think it'd be kind of fun. You start it from like a 20-yard chip in, and just like to see the teams that just fuck that up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like-
Dude, that would be hilarious.
And then you get the kicker more involved.
And-
the kicker
and-
becomes
Exactly.
so important then.
Jesse, can the kicker be kicking off a tee? Can it literally be a kickoff? It's the two kickers. They have their tees. They're on
Those guys
opposite
can
sides of the
kick,
field.
like,
There's
80 yards
there's no
off the
teams
tee.
and they're just piss missiling it until one of the
I
other. guys-
like that.
See, I like the idea of it's just the kicker because it's even more mental.
Yeah,
at that
Yep.
point.
it's just him.
There's nobody out there. How
Yep.
about no T, but they can use the little like thing that holds.
Yeah.
It
No,
does
that's
the
what I
same
meant.
thing as
That's
the
what I
T.
meant.
Yeah, but
That's
it
what I
holds.
meant by
Okay,
the
yeah,
T.
because
But
they
not
can
the
kick
T.
off of like
What
a
it is
block
called.
T, 80, 90 yards.
Yeah, of
that's
course.
Right.
fuck that.
No, yeah, the stand
Exactly.
for sure.
Yeah, off the stand they use in pregame. Yes.
Yep.
100%. I
And
actually
the other
think
teams,
that would
the other
be
team's
entertaining.
mascot can be within 15 yards,
or
just waving.
or you could be right behind him and he's just like,
Yeah.
fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's my solution.
That's not
Jesse just
bad.
figured it out for me.
Yeah,
Kickoff.
just do a fucking kickoff. I mean,
Like if
obviously
they're gonna try to move the MLB towards like a home run derby for extra innings, which is absolute travesty for that sport if they start doing
Yeah.
that type of shit. But if that's what they're
But
gonna
they
do, then
will.
the NFL needs to do that too.
I
Kickoffs.
agree.
I like it.
agree.
End the game. You know the Chiefs and the Ravens, and they're going to the Super Bowl anyways. They have the best kickers too, so they're
That's
going
true,
to the Super
they
Bowl
do.
anyways. It's not really gonna affect anything.
That's a great point too. The two of the best teams have two
Yeah,
of the strongest legs.
the
Them
best
in the
kickers,
AFC
so.
Championship game, a fucking
Yeah.
65-yard
Oh
kickoff.
my
Kickoff.
god, dude. Can you imagine that?
All the teams just on the they can actually stand on the field, kind of close to the kicker.
Yeah,
Make
I
it
kind of
a
like
tunnel.
them going
Make it
around,
a
like standing
tunnel.
on the field.
Like
Yeah.
soccer,
Like soccer.
PKs
Yeah, like
with our
soccer.
field
Yeah.
arm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
actually getting me fucking juiced.
And then think about how much of a goat you are if you're the kicker who makes like the fucking 80-yarder.
Yeah, 70
Oh, my
yarder
God.
to
To win
send
it.
you to the Super
And it should
Bowl.
be
Oh my god.
it should be like if the first person misses, you coin toss to see who goes first, second. If the first person misses, the second person should have to match it. They should have to make it.
Yeah, I think if the first person misses and the second guy matches that kick, that's a win.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
win.
it doesn't
Yeah.
go any further.
But I'm saying every level.
So it's just
so,
that.
like,
Yeah. So it's that easy. It's not like a
It's instant sudden death.
NHL where it's best out of three. It's
No,
like
it's
literally-
just one.
It's got to be
It's
instant.
Just
if you
one
fu-
at
if you
each
fuck it
at
up.
each yardage. Yep.
The kicker
I
has
love
to be
that.
walking out there going, I am so fucked right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that. Love that. Love
The
that.
entire
I'm all in
season.
on that.
Is now on my shoulders because they couldn't fucking score in overtime.
Yep.
And then think about how kickers
Or
would
make the
actually
coaches
become
do it.
athletes then.
Yeah, true.
Dude, you can get the punters involved with this too. Like, see if which punter can drop it closest to the goal line.
Okay, so basically we're just doing a punt, pass, and kick to send you to the Super Bowl. We're doing an NFL halftime show at the fucking end of
To
the game.
determine who wins.
Yeah,
the game.
see who can get it in the Dr. Pepper slit from the 50.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right. To win your fucking scholarship.
Oh my god! Why don't they just fucking play ping pong while we're at it?
yeah, right.
Let's go back to the locker room and play a game of ping pong.
Gentlemen, it's your boy Pooter, here to show some support and to send some extra support to our friend Topher that really needs it because he is a Giants fan. I mean, they're just god-awful this year. But on a more serious note, and this is unrelated to football, but who are you guys picking? Bryson DeChambeau or fucking Rory McIlroy? Come on, I mean, Bryson's the man. He's a stud. Let me know what your thoughts are. Appreciate it, guys. Miss.
Oh, I want to start off by saying I have no idea who Bryson DeChambeau is, but
I thought the same thing. Bryson DeChambeau. So, Chris,
Here's
how
my-
did you feel about
that-
our first video message?
That's my first reaction is put that fucking paper bag back on.
he's a Giants fan, and they're god awful.
They are. They're
Well,
Shout
before
out,
we get into
Cooter.
his question, thank you, Pat, for subscribing and for submitting our first video message and being our first subscriber. We do appreciate it. You know, you're the homie. You might have just took a cheap shot at Chris there. I don't know. How we all feel about that.
Jesus.
Jesus, that's the first call we
Couple
get.
Just-
couple
just
bucks well
immediately
spent there, Pooter. Jesus.
dogs the
You'd have just
Giants.
texted me.
Hey, Lamar Jackson's in the red zone.
Damn right he is.
So are you
Interesting,
taking
huh?
Bryson DeChambeau in the red zone or Rory McIlroy?
Oh, I'm taking Bryson, even though I hate that guy, but he hits it a fucking country mile. So I mean,
Rory's been looking lost too. He looks
Yeah,
like Wentz.
he might not be good at golf anymore.
He might be good at basketball.
He might be good at
He
basketball.
might be though. You never know. I'm going Rory.
I like
Big
it.
Rory guy.
Yeah, I'm a big Rory guy for reasons that I don't think we can say on the pod.
Yeah, same.
That's fair.
But
Yeah, I'm a big Patrick Reed guy.
but I'm a big Rory guy.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have to give it to Borson DeShogbo.
yeah. Borson.
The only reason I'm picking Bersenio Hall is because I like his hat that he wears.
He liked that hat. That hat makes me
Yeah.
want to punch him in the face.
I saw no.
I actually want to
the reason
take
I
my
like that-
B Smitty ones right over his fucking forehead.
dude. When
Shout
I
out B
golf,
Smitty real quick.
I feel like that hat gives you powers.
Oh, there's no doubt. Especially the only place it gives you powers, and it takes everything else away when you're not at this place is the golf course. If you're wearing that hat outside of a golf course,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's honestly that's true, but it's borderline for me. Like he's still even if you're at the golf course,
Yeah,
You gotta be
almost
really
like
fucking
it's still
good.
borderline.
yeah.
You got to be really good.
You have to be Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, but even then though, come on,
Yeah.
man, just wear a normal hat, guy.
Well, if Tiger wore that, it would be fresh.
What color is Rory wearing this weekend?
Eh.
What neon? What's he throwing on?
Oh, he'll throw some neon on.
You got neon
He'll go
on?
conservative, like gray pants, but then he'll throw like neon green shirt.
That's what
on.
I'm thinking too.
Green,
Like it'll
yeah.
be like a gray
Yeah.
zip up with neon green on the arms. A little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah, yeah,
Some
yeah,
like in
Yeah.
the inseam.
Yeah, fuck with that. That
Yeah.
sounds like a winning. Look good,
That's a
feel good,
Rory
play
fit.
good.
But yeah,
Oh,
shout
so-
out Poot. Thanks for the video.
Yeah,
That was huge.
First
We
of many, I'm
appreciate that.
sure.
I'm sure we'll
Yeah,
be getting
I
more.
really
from him
appreciated
in
that.
future
Yeah,
episodes.
sure. Chris loved that.
He
Keep
is
holding
our
down the old
highest
racetrack.
Patreon tier, so he can submit video message for every episode if he so chooses.
Well, he probably
Unreal.
should do that because he's probably going to be the only one submitting any videos. So.
It's
Him
true.
and my mom, yeah. Does our resident degenerate gambler have any updates for this week? Anything big?
Yeah. We had a subpar Sunday. It was a weird slate.
Subpar
but,
Sunday.
it started off absolutely great with a teaser that went miserable. It was made earlier in the week. It was teased. The Miami Celtics game over was teased. It was like on a Thursday, and then I took a Raiders plus 15.5. Thought that would be a nice lock. Missed that on that teaser, so that was an L. And the other part of that teaser was Giants plus 14, which I thought against the San Fran team that was depleted was going to hit.
Giants
Miserably
plus
missed.
14.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be enough.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it'd be
enough,
close. I thought I'd be
Right.
sweating
That's what
It
I'm
was
saying.
not
I'm
enough.
like,
By,
the fact they
like,
can't cover that.
Yeah, by 2 scores. Well, dude, the Raiders didn't cover against the Patriots, plus 15.5. Patriots blew them out.
I'm just gonna keep
Um,
moving this
but
closer
then-
to my face.
Then we
It's the
went into
cover
Sunday
photo.
Night Football, and we hit a parlay of the century.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Alan
you did have a big
Lazard.
parlay.
I had Alan Lazard over 100 yards, 1 touchdown in Green Bay to win for plus 1,600. And we'll cash that one. And then tonight we are going Ravens -3. I have no idea how that game's going. It's currently on, but we have Ravens -3. But we'll take Alan Lazard. So like last night, I'm just watching Alan Lazard go off, and I'm having the time of my life. Never enjoyed a guy named Alan so much, except for that one time out in Vegas,
No one's ever enjoyed a guy named Alan that much.
as much as I did last night.
drunk driving.
I think he went off for like 150.
So sus.
So sus. They kicked a field goal on the first possession. The Ravens.
That's
Which is
huge.
trash.
That's huge. For
That's
this now.
enormous. All right, well, let's just wrap up with my Heat did finally clinch to the NBA Finals. We are
Did you
getting
say
a
your
Lakers. Yeah, my Heat. Don't you remember Heat in 7?
Oh, I remember.
Heat in 7. What did you guys say? Some dumb shit about the Lakers? It's not happening.
You think Heat in 7 in the finals?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I would go so far to say like Heat in like a gentleman sweep, Heat in 5.
Gentleman's
But
sweep.
I don't want to change. I already made my prediction. I'll say Heat in 7.
I don't know.
They look
Danny
so
Green
good.
looks pretty dangerous.
Oh, he looks so bad. I literally have written down right here, Brick City Danny Green. I was just watching the game, and I was like, he can't shoot. He can shoot in the fourth quarter, but he can't shoot the rest of the game. He looks bad, but he's great on defense. That's why they use him. But Tyler Harrow scoring on and off the court, so shout out my boy.
If you swap LeBron and Jimmy Butler,
The Heat didn't even make the playoffs.
right? Yeah, Lakers probably wouldn't make the playoffs.
No.
No.
Inverse.
No.
No, Heat missed the playoffs. Lakers easy sweep of whoever they face.
You're a big Jimmy B guy, huh?
As long as
big Jimmy
Tyler
Buckets
Harrell went
guy.
with him.
I
Yeah.
kind of
Dude,
like all those
I am
teams
all
played
in on the Heat. Like I don't think they'll
Yes.
win, but I
No.
don't even want to predict the Lakers to win because I want the Heat to win so bad.
So why don't you go ahead and change your prediction right now here live on the show?
Oh, I'm not changing anything. No one watched
please
last
do.
episode.
Come
I don't have
join my
to
team.
walk it back,
He
Grebby on
said
this.
no one watched last
In
episode.
7.
I don't have to walk it back, Grebby, on this.
Come on, walk
You
it
just-
back.
Walk what back? I was always on the Heat.
Fuck that. No, you bet. You hedge your bets with the Heat like I do with Deontay Johnson on my fantasy team.
Yeah, well, truth comes out. There we go. I wasn't gonna say it, but there you
It's
go.
layers to this shit.
Yeah, there was. When I saw that screenshot, I was a little upset. But
It's layers to this shit.
what did I say? Lakers in 6?
Yeah.
I'll stick with that.
I think that's
Oh,
fair
Lakers
if they
in
weren't
6.
playing the Heat.
That's true.
Bam.
Bam out of bio.
All jokes aside, the Heat are really good. They're playing better than they even are right now. And if they can keep up that sort of streak, I really do think they'll make it a series.
Is Bam out of bio just Pascal Siakam?
No.
He's way better.
No. Yes, he's so much better than Pascal Siakam. Oh my god.
Because this is
No,
what Pascal
dude.
Siakam did last year. He just played so good in the playoffs, and then.
No,
But Bam's been good
not
all year. I do like
Pascal.
Bam. I do like Bam.
Margera.
Margera.
Pascal looks so bad this year. They tried to make him the superstar, and he was like,
I
"Yeah,
know.
I don't know what I'm doing."
Yeah. They gave him a max deal, and then he averaged like 10 a game.
Yeah, he looked so fucking bad. Like Bam is actually the superstar of that team. Like he's a double machine.
Yeah, he's probably better than Jimmy. That's close. That's close.
Jimmy's more important. Well, as far as
We know
a
who the
leadership
real.
standpoint,
We know who the real superstar is on that team.
Duncan Robinson
Duncan Robinson, baby.
Yep. or Kelly
Tyler
Olynyk.
Harrow.
Yep.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh. Or because I forgot that he
Myers
played
Leonard.
for him. Myers Leonard.
God damn it! I gotta
Or-
cut the fucking show again.
Goran Dragic.
Yeah, all the best players on the Heat. All right, that's all for us for this week, guys. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of Over the Line. We'll be back next week with another banger. Thanks for tuning in, boys.